Good morning, everybody. Sutphin, my company is Mariner Tech Software Solutions. We're all the way over on the other side of the river in East Lake. I moved here June of last year. Absolutely fell in love with Cleveland. I know that's a rare thing to say. I also know that it's a rare thing for an East Side guy to be on the West Side. In Chicago, we have that same thing, but it's north and south, and it's Cub fans versus Sox fans, and that's delineated by the Chicago River, usually IQ level, and whoever's just won the World Series. So, I know that's kind of bad here. I know. And in my office of 15 people, I am the only Cub fan last year, so that was kind of really fun for me. Rabid Indian fans. So. Let me give you just a little bit of background about me and why you should listen to me about LinkedIn. Heaven knows who's this guy. I graduated from college with 3 absolutely useless degrees. One in literature, philosophy, and writing and language. So that left me to do nothing but sales, right? So I've been doing that for over about 35 years now. And I've run the gamut from working at large corporate groups where I had 900 clients to startup businesses. I've started my own business, like I think a lot of you have done, at least 5 times in my lifetime. Some very successful, some okay. But I understand where you're at, and I understand what it takes to market and to get a small business going and those kinds of things. The reason I'm here to talk to you about LinkedIn today is I think that it is something that people really are missing out on. It's not just trying to find a job, it currently is the way to connect with your clients, and everybody seems to have it. So before I get started, I just want to mention one quick thing. Small Business Development Center. I didn't say how long ago this was, but about 25 years ago, I started a business down in the Ozarks of Missouri, in Springfield, Missouri. And if it were not for the Small Business Development Center, that would have never happened. That business, I had 33 employees. I went and got a loan from the bank for $1.6 million, which would have never happened without this. So if you have the chance, use those resources. They are spectacular usually to people. So I just want to mention that. All right, let's talk about LinkedIn real quick. Who does not have a LinkedIn account? Anybody? All right, everybody has one. Who uses their LinkedIn account? Who has it because somebody told you you need to have a LinkedIn account? There we go. Okay.
I'm the only honest person here.
Okay. Who has it because it's like Playboy because you can go there and read the articles? Okay. Before we get started, let's talk about the history of marketing. Going all the way back, people hung out a shingle and you walked by and went, oh, that's where I can get my shoes done, right? Then we started doing what? Sending out mail, US mail. Then the phone came along, right? And what came along with the phone?
Telemarketers.
What's the most dreaded thing that salespeople have to do on a daily basis?
Cold calling.
Cold calls, right? Cold calls. I hate it, right? And I bet everybody here does it. If somebody says they love to do cold calling, they are lying to you. And you know that's true. So then, in the mid-90s, we got fax machines. Does anybody remember sending out faxes to get appointments and stuff, right? Then what happened in the late 90s? Emails, right? So email's fantastic because it puts that little buffer, right? But what do you do when you send an email? You have to follow it up with what? Cold call. Don't want it. Okay, so that's kind of the progression of how things have gone. And that's how my progression in sales over the years has gone as well. Again, you have to do it, you have to do it. So why are you reaching out to people? What's your objective when you're making a cold call, when you're sending an email, when you, as we're going to learn how to do LinkedIn, what's your objective for doing it?
For me, it's just to let somebody know I exist. I'm here. Should you need my services, consider me, but I'm not looking to sell you anything right now, but by the way, I exist.
Okay.
Otherwise, somebody's not gonna know I exist.
Anybody else?
To build relationship.
To build relationships, okay.
Credibility.
Very good. Okay. Anything else?
Referrals. Referrals.
Referrals, okay. Our objective to being on LinkedIn is to connect with people that will buy our product, correct? Or our services, or what we do. Now, in sales, the only way you're going to get to that point is to get your butt in the chair across the table from them, or get them on the phone and have a conversation, right? That's our objective, okay? All these other things are part of that, and those are things that come afterwards or come before. But our main objective, what we're trying to do, is to get across the table with someone so we can have a meeting. You're not going to get a contract. You're not going to get something signed unless you have a meeting, okay? Has anybody ever been on a dating website, other than me? Anybody else? If you send that first email and you go, hey baby, you're fantastic, you're the best thing, let's get married, let's do all the work. Is that gonna work? If it is, you better check out her objectives, right? No. What happens is it's a process, right? You learn a little bit about them, they learn a little bit about you, back and forth till you're comfortable, they know you're there, right? It goes to, over time, it goes to the credibility, it goes to all those things, right? But our objective is, what? Have a meeting, have a phone call, have a connection. Connecting, I mean, people can connect all the time on LinkedIn, but the real objective is get across from them, right? So I want to tell you my story about, 35 years in this business, in sales business, and what I learned just since this last December about LinkedIn, okay? I'm not here to tell you I'm an expert on LinkedIn. I'm not, especially with recent changes that they've made to it. I guess everybody's heard of those, right? Microsoft purchased it, and about 2 months ago, switched everything around. Everybody's bitching about that, right?
Yes.
Everybody else see that?
Yes.
On your threads, everybody's like going, oh, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Well, good luck with that, right? Okay. First of all, they're not gonna go anywhere else. And if they do, that's great. You have to look at it this way. Those people that are angry about that, they're the hunters. Okay, they're the sales guys. They're the ones that have just made it a little bit harder for them to hunt. So if they're going away, that makes it easier for me. You're thinning the herd, man. Because the objective, those people I want to talk to and get my butt in the seat across from, they're not going off LinkedIn. They're like you guys, they're there because somebody told them they're supposed to be there. Right? They're not selling anything. They're the executive who's making that decision. They're not going anywhere because it changes to LinkedIn. Right? So it's a positive thing. Now, I have on this particular account about 4,200 connections. Okay? Most of those are from back in Chicago, and most of those are from back when I didn't know what the hell to do with those connections. Okay? Over the last 10 years, I've done a number of different kinds of businesses. So it runs the gamut from, just because I knew I had to have an account, I knew I was supposed to be connected. So I've connected with the janitor, to the secretary, to the CIO, and people that can do me absolutely no good. But I got them. And if you want to look through those, have it. Okay? All right, so let's talk about it real quick on strategies and what happened to me. So I got here to Cleveland last June, went to work at Mariner Tech in September. And my boss said, okay, this is what we want you to do. We want you to make X amount of phone calls every day. Cold call. Now my business people I'm calling on are CIOs, Chief Information Officers. Geeks to the next level up, okay? The thing that I learned is that those guys don't answer the phone. Those guys don't answer emails. So after 2.5 months of 7,000 phone calls and having 10 conversations, I gotta do something else. And nobody listened to me, right? So the week between Christmas and New Year's, that 2-week time period, I went on LinkedIn and I thought, okay, my objective is to reach CIOs. Then I answer my phone calls. Let's see what they'll do on LinkedIn. So I went through, I did a basic search, and again, I've never paid to be on LinkedIn. Okay, you can do all this stuff without paying, right? So I went on, I thought, what am I gonna do here, okay? So I did a simple search, and I put CIOs Cleveland, right? In that time, week before Christmas, New Year's, there's no business going on, right? I didn't expect anybody to respond to that, but I had to say I'm doing something, right? In that time period, I had 150 connections of the top CIOs in Cleveland, and I'm talking about, think of a big company here, the RTA, the state's attorney's office. I'm talking about real decision makers, okay? And they're all connecting with me. These are the same damn people I've been sending emails to and calling, and yet they'll connect with me on LinkedIn. Damnedest thing. 35 years in sales. It's crazy. Okay. So now I got it. I'm connected, and I'm locked in. What am I going to do with this? How do I turn that into sitting across from them and making a sale? Okay? That's the million-dollar question. That's why you're all sitting here, and if you're not, you're here for the wrong reason. Okay? So what did I do? I did the research. I went on Google and I went back 27 pages. What do you do when you've got a connection? What's your next follow-up step? And what's the step after that? And what's the step after that? I signed up for courses. It cost money, it cost a lot of money. But I had these 150 key CIOs, people I've been trying to reach. I don't want to misstep, because you're not going to get a second step. We all know that, right? Your first step towards somebody, you misstep, you might as well forget it. Okay, so we're going to learn now, at least for me, again, I'm not an expert, I'm going to tell you what works for me. I'm going to give you real, hands-on, I'm going to give you examples of emails that were sent so you can follow through and adapt them to what you do. Okay? But before we do that, let's talk about LinkedIn and your profile. Okay? This is who you are. Okay. Let's start with your picture. Does anybody have a LinkedIn without a photograph on it? Why? You didn't think I was going to put, you didn't think you came here, you didn't think somebody's going to call you out, right? Okay. If you don't have a picture, don't even be on it, okay? Here's what your picture is supposed to say. I'm approachable. I'm somebody that they want to talk to. If don't put a picture up with your dog unless you're a veterinarian. Don't put a picture up with you when you're skiing unless you're trying to reach John Pond Keeley. And I mean, you guys see it, right? Yeah. Don't put a picture of your kids. You need to put a professional photograph, but it needs to be approachable. If you need to find somebody who does it, I've got a great guy for you, Keith McGuire. This particular photograph, I went and I did a session with him, and he did some great work. And this is the last one out of, took over 200 photographs. And you guys know Keith, right? Super guy, we had a great time. And he goes, give me a pose, so it's Friday afternoon, and you just closed like the best sale ever of your life. And that's what I did, okay? I can tell you that the responses, because I had another photograph up there where I looked like I was running for mayor, and I got like no responses at all. So you want to be approachable, but it needs to be a professional looking photograph, okay? Questions about that? Don't take a selfie. I'm telling you, this is your professional image. You're trying to impress that one person.
Can
I make a comment
Yes.
on that?
Yes.
I know a couple people that do professional headshots. And when I went to do mine, I actually went with 5 different blouses, 5 different outfits, and tried different things.
Mhm.
Because color makes a difference as well.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'll tell you what was interesting to me. There was a guy I was trying to reach out to, and he's in cranes all the time. He's with one of these development companies. His name is Eric Creed. Pretty well-known guy around Cleveland. And I looked at a bunch of people's photographs, and his was the only one that had a white background, and he was looking the other way, but he looked so approachable. I mean, this guy he's pretty heavy hitter. And everybody else has the dark background, no serious. I thought, that's what I want, because that's a guy that I want to approach and I want to talk to. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, first of all, do you know how many people are on LinkedIn? How many members they have? They just went over a big mark.
Worldwide,
500 million people are on LinkedIn. Worldwide. 500 million. You take everybody that voted in the last election and double it, and that's still not that many people that are on LinkedIn. Think your customer is there? They're not. You don't want them as a customer, right? Okay, so how do I tailor my profile to get the best use out of it? Well, here's what you have to do. I want you to imagine the most perfect client you could have in your business, okay? Close your eyes, think about a past client that you've had, that whale, that one person that you really want to contact with, okay? That's what you tailor your LinkedIn profile to. You cannot be all things to all people on LinkedIn. If you do a number of different things, create 2 or 3 different profiles, okay? So your text, your information, it all has to be, you're trying to impress and sell your high profile candidate. That make sense? Okay. Now, do we do that in the first email that we send out to them? We say, hey, we're the greatest thing since sliced bread. No. And do we do it on our profile? Timing. Okay. You see this part right here where it talks about you? Okay. See this here? Now, this part needs to be about you. It is not about your business. It's not about your great product and all these things. This is about you, because they're going to go and read this, and this is where they're going to decide, do I want to talk to this guy or not? Okay? So I want you to talk about your experience, positive things in your life, hobbies that you have, because you would not believe how many people have the same hobby as you. It's crazy. But this is where they're going to go to learn about you. All right? Make it a little bit lighter. You know, talk about, if you macrame, I know that sounds crazy, but put that on there. All right? You want them to know about you. Why would I want to talk to this person? Well, let's see. My most important role in life is as a friend. That is my personal philosophy. That's what I do. Okay? That's kind of approachable. It's kind of a cool thing. I have 30 years of experience in sales management, started new companies. I love to take struggling ventures and make new things. Okay, so that's about me. It's not about Mariner Tech. It's what I do. They're learning about who I am. Now, from here, they're going to go and they're going to look at my company, right? So, where is that? That's under our experience, further down here. This is not your resume, okay? This is your pitch to your high-profile contact about your company. You want to tell them how great you are and how you can solve their issues and all this stuff. This is where you do it, okay? Again, this is not a resume. This is tells them about your company. Tells them, why do I want to talk to them? What services do they provide? What problems do I have and they fix for me? This is where you put that in. And questions about that? Make it as detailed and as positive as you possibly can about what your company does. If you've been in business 50 years, stress that. If you solve, a lot of times people will put examples of what they've done for other people. That's really, really key because they want to relate. They want to look at it and go, Oh yeah, they solved that problem that was similar to mine, right? Okay. 3 things about LinkedIn you need to know. First one is, it's not about, hey, look at me, this is how great I am, this is how great we are. Only in this one place we're going to do that. But LinkedIn is there, and here's the attitude, and here's the key, and here's the thing that nobody ever told you. LinkedIn is about, how can I serve you, okay? Whether your profile says it, any interaction you have with someone, that's where you have to come from if you want to reach your customer, okay? LinkedIn is about, how can I serve you? Can I give you a referral? Can I solve a problem for you? Is there something that I can do when we connect? You know, I'm interested in connecting with you and seeing what I can do to serve you, okay? And if you carry that through, you will have your butt in the seat across the table from your decision maker, okay? Number 2, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, discuss politics or religion on LinkedIn, okay? It's really tempting because there's a lot of people that do it, and if you see those things, they usually get chastised for doing it. But I want you to think about this for a second. Right now in our country, politically, we're divided right down the middle. It's 50-50. Any way you want to slice it, that's how it is. Whatever side of the fence you sit, that's how it is. So why would you go on and say something about even supportive of your candidate because you just eliminated 50% of the people that you could be doing business with? And if you don't think people are looking at that, you're wrong. And don't even like it. Don't even make a comment under somebody else's stupid thing that they posted. Because I'll tell you what happened to me. Again, somebody posted a photograph of campaign manager of the candidate that was the opposite of what I liked, okay? And all I said was, this is not the forum to do this. This is a business forum. Save that stuff for Facebook, right? I had 75 people look up my profile. Not one of them wanted to connect with me. They're looking for my home address to tell me how great their candidate was in person, right? This political climate, it's dangerous, but it's dangerous from the standpoint of your business. Why would you eliminate 50%? It makes no sense, right? But people do it every single day. Okay. With your profile, you need to fill out everything, okay? I mean everything, all the way down to what grammar school you went to, okay? Jay, why would I do that? Anybody have an answer to that? Why?
Some of your potential business people might have gone to the same grammar school.
Possible, or your college, or high school, or whatever. Any other reasons why would we fill it all out? Much as we can. Do you remember they used to have a little circle that had like a gauge of percentage of what you filled out and those kinds of things? Okay, just like Google, they have an algorithm, and it takes into account how filled out your stuff is, how active you are, what kind of stuff you're posting, and how many people you're connected to. Okay? So the more stuff you have filled out here, when somebody is searching for your service and what you have to do, you'll come up higher in those searches. It's really simple. If you don't fill it out, if you don't post stuff, if you don't join groups, you are back on page 27, right? Really simple.
Search engine optimization.
Take the time, fill it out. Again, everything positive. You had a fantastic experience in elementary school. And high school was even better, right? You have to fill everything out for that, okay? Not just are you going to, is that, but also it gives them a better overall feel of who you are. Yes?
So I'm looking at your page here, and it said, Pierre Robinson and 99 plus connections have given endorsements for this skill. When I have a LinkedIn page, and I have not been on it, and this was a while ago, so I haven't been there a while, but when I kept getting emails saying so-and-so has endorsed you, or so-and-so has endorsed you for a specific something. I'm like, these people don't even know me, or I know they have not done any endorsements because I asked them and they don't. What was that all about? Miscellaneous.
Were you connected to them?
I may have been connected, but again, if you know, I mean, I know you can endorse somebody for a skill, but I mean, I was seeing some really weird things coming across saying people endorsed me for stuff that I didn't even do. And so, how did...
Well, what I would do is I would go back and like block that. One of the great things about LinkedIn, just like Facebook, is you can block people. And
Okay.
once you do that, that's not going to be on your
Okay.
page.
It was just really weird. I'm like, and they endorsed me for strange things, like totally unrelated to my
Right.
business.
Well, that could be phishing people from other countries and that kind of
Okay.
stuff. But the best way to do that kind of stuff is to block them, so that stuff won't show up on your
Okay.
profile. And that brings up another question. People, you know, I get connection requests from people that I don't even know all the time,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
What do I do with that? Right? So, what do you do with them? I know you gotta get people sending you stuff all the time, right?
Yeah, ignore it, block it.
Why do you do that?
Because I'm not sure of who they are, what they're up to, and if I want to be connected to that person.
Okay, do you go and look at their page and see who they are?
Briefly, I don't spend a whole lot of time with it.
Okay,
A similar approach to Sharon. I'm kind of an optimistic person, so I'm like, oh, this is great. Who's this person, right? I'm like, you live in China? That's great. I mean, maybe not, but you know, what I try and do is I'll accept them and I'll send them a message like right away and say, hey, this is so cool. Maybe not. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'm like, hey, thanks for connecting. It's great to meet you. What brought you to my page? And then if I don't hear anything from them after like a couple days, then they're probably just connected with me to get at my contacts.
Right.
Or, I mean, you can't really do that anymore, you used to. But,
no, you can, but it depends on how you set up your profile.
sure, okay, well, yeah, the search, they switched the search, but I'm assuming that's what they did, so then I make the
So, great point. Thank you very much. The point is, look at it. Look at who this is. Evaluate who this is. Look at who their connections are. Because they may not be who you want to talk to, but they might be connected to somebody who you want to talk to, right? Eventually down the road, you never know. And you can always block them. You can always delete. You know, I have like 4,000 connections. If I kept them all, it'd be like 7,000 or 8,000. But there's no point in keeping them just to keep the numbers. It's not am I popular on Facebook. Okay. Yes.
Do you kind of feel the same way about endorsements?
Endorsements, that goes to the ranking, how you come up in searches. So depending on what your business is and how much you want to come up in those searches, I would encourage having those and doing those for other people as well. It depends on who your customer is. They might want to see 75 endorsements and personally things written out. He really helped me do this and those kinds of things. It's really specific to your business and what you do. Okay, so evaluate it based on that. That makes sense? All right, who posts stuff on a regular basis about your business? How often?
Once a week usually.
Once a
I
week.
try not to inundate people with stuff.
Okay.
But if I find a great article that I think is worth sharing, I share somebody else's article as well. Just put a brief, hey, this is what I got out of this. It's a good read.
Okay.
I only push out stuff.
So you're only putting something about yourself or your business written out once a week, but you're also doing shared.
Yes, and I don't do it about myself. These are
Why?
articles.
Why not?
Well, because it's not about me. I want to educate people and become the expert in that industry so that if they do have an issue sometime down the road and I've answered somebody's question or I put out an article that explains why you should, claim your Google My Business listing or explaining to people how impactful reviews are on their business, and then they have an issue with it.
Okay.
They'll reach out to me at some point in time.
So let me ask you, do you go through this like this? Do you go through the thread?
I do until I'm ready to fall asleep, but I
Okay.
go through it fairly
So you do go through it, right?
Yes, I do.
So does your customer. Every day. If they're a customer that's really using LinkedIn, they're going to go through that and they're going to look at that stuff. Okay? You're marketing yourself and your business. Why would you not talk about what you do in a again, not in the pushy car salesman way, but try to be clever, try to be interesting about, and do it in asking people questions. And I'll give you a couple quick examples of my silliness. Okay, so of course I posted about this. So here's one that I put earlier this week. I have a question. If you have a business full of dynamic, talented programmers, and you had 5,000 LinkedIn connections of great people who had businesses with outdated software, programs that didn't work right or work together, and you could solve their issues, would you post something on LinkedIn? I just did.
That's really good.
Okay? Contact me and let's talk about what we can do for you. Okay? I post something similar to that twice a week. For me, it's Monday, Thursdays. Okay? What does that do? Now, some of you guys know my friend Brian Bukowski from Bomb Image. We do a lot of network together. We cross paths quite a bit. And he stood up in a meeting one time and he goes, let me tell you something. I see that stuff from Jay every single week, all the time, and it's always in my thread. He goes, maybe it might be irritating, but I know if I need software, that's the guy I'm going to go to, right? So if you do it in a kind of a fun way, asking a question, what kind of problems is somebody having? Call me, let's see if we can help you out. You're keeping your name, you're keeping yourself in front of them. Okay, that's our objective. That's part of getting, right, butts in the seat. It also helps you with your ranking on searches.
When you post something, do they have to go to your LinkedIn page to see that, or do they get emails saying so-and-so posted something?
No, it comes up down in the thread. It comes up here. Okay? And actually, the more people see it, it keeps coming back up. It's a whole other algorithm and those kinds of things based on how many connections you have, how many people are doing use of what you do. So if you're doing that a couple times a week, you're also posting articles like you do, which is great, really, really great idea. It takes no time. All you have to do is hit share, and there it is, right?
We have a content writer, so I just pull them off of our blog on our website, and share them, and that way the link drives back to our website.
Very good. Yeah.
I started using Instagram and Facebook, and so LinkedIn, that's why I'm here, because I would like to expand. Hashtags, the @ are those effective in LinkedIn?
No.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No,
I hate
it's
those.
a business forum. It's really
Thank you.
very,
Okay.
very different thing. And
Good.
you will get like LinkedIn purists when you start putting those kinds of things. It's like, save that for
Save that
Instagram.
for
Save that for.
Okay.
All right. The other thing I wanted to hit is groups. Does anybody join groups? You do. What is your business? What kind of business do you do?
Stained glass gallery, art gallery,
Okay. And what kind of groups do you join?
things that are arts related to the industry.
Okay. You said what kind of business are you in and what do you join?
So I'm in financial services, a financial advisor, so I'll join groups based on like alumni groups or their groups, or what I found, you pick any industry, there's a group designated for people that have retired from that industry.
Exactly.
So it's always interesting to join groups about that.
Okay. Anybody else join groups? What kind of groups do you join?
I join groups that are target markets for me, so.
Groups that your customer is going to be in.
Yeah, like
Right.
kitchen and bathroom modeling guys.
That's the ticket. Okay. If you're joining groups again, I'm in sales. It might do me some good, but what's going to do me a whole lot more good is joining groups that my customer is going to be in. Not that I'm going to directly sell to them there, but here's what's going to happen. I'm going to learn their issues. I'm going to learn their problems, okay? Going back a few jobs ago, my business was related to the HR industry. And I wasn't an HR person, and it's really hard to join the top HR groups. I mean, I had to apply like 4 times and explain why I had to do it, but boy, was it worth it. Because, first of all, I was connected to the top, very active people involved in HR with big companies, and I learned what their problems were. And so I was able to say, hey, you know what? We do this, okay? Also, in those groups, and we're gonna come to this right now about the messages that you send out, you're gonna find articles in those groups that your client is gonna wanna see. And that's gonna be part of your email strategy here that we're gonna go into right now, okay? Everybody clear on the groups. Now you can join up to 50 groups on LinkedIn, 50. So don't say, oh, well, you know, I don't want to join every group. Join whoever your target market person is. That's what we want to do. These are actual emails that I use, and we're going to talk about each one and what the process is. The very first one you see there is Crane's article. Crane's is where people that are movers and shakers, there are articles written about them. They pay to be there. They are there. Your customer is there. And every Monday you need to get Crane's, whether it's the online version or the paper version, and you need to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and you need to find somebody that's related to your business, and here's the email you're going to send them. Hi Bob, Sarah, whoever. Saw the article in Crane's, I just wanted to reach out and say, bravo, things look like they're really exciting for you at your firm. If I or my firm can ever service you, please feel free to reach out. I'd like to connect with you as I think we may find some common ground to help each other. Best wishes, J. Sutphin, Maryland. Now, did I tell him how great my business was?
No.
Does he even know what my business is? No. Let me tell you something. Out of every 10 of those I send out to people, and I usually send every week probably 7 when I go through Crane's that relate to my business. Out of every 10 that I send out, 8 people respond to me. Why do they do that? Because we're vain. Because we're vain. Somebody saw me in the paper, man, that's great, right? So when they respond, hey, thanks a lot, you know, I really appreciate that. Now I've got a dialogue. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I said, hey, if I can ever help you, you know? Well, if I send it to him, he's somebody I want to talk to. So now I've opened the door. That's a guy that I sent that email to. That's a guy that I called that didn't answer me. But he's in Crane's, and I said, hey man, that's cool. And he goes, hey, yeah, thanks a lot. Oh, what do you guys do? We start a conversation.
You're sending this message through LinkedIn, correct?
Through LinkedIn.
So before you send a message, don't you have to contact them and say, will you be in my...
I send it as part of my connection request. Okay? Now, here's the next thing. You do a search and you find somebody you want to connect with, right? And you have 2 options. One says, ask now, connect, and one says, send a message. Which one do you do?
Message.
You got the free version.
Don't ever just send them that. Don't ever just send a connect.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
I had a note to it.
You're just shooting yourself in the foot. The guy's going, well, as we've talked about before, who is this? Why are they sending me this? Why are they connecting with me? I don't know who they are. I don't want to do the research on their profile. Send them a little message. It's like, all you get is like 144 characters or 300 characters or something like that. Send a message with it. Tell them why. And that goes to our next one, okay? When you send the connection request. Hi Bob, Sarah, Jane, whoever. I saw your profile. It looks like some very exciting time at your firm. I wanted to reach out and connect with you because I think we have some common ground where we might be able to assist each other. If I or my firm can ever do what? Serve you. I urge you to reach out. Look forward to getting to know you. Best wishes, J. Sutphin. Okay? Guys, that works. As lame as it sounds, and as simple as it sounds, did I tell them about my business? I tell them who I am, how great we are, because I do. I just want to tell you right now, I have the best programmers in the Midwest. They're all 30, good looking, they can talk to anybody. I hate them, you know, but I have the best. And if I led with that, it turn people off, right? I want him to go to my page. I want him to look at all the stuff that we wrote about, how great our guys are, right? If I lead with that, just like on the dating site, and turn me down. Okay, so now I sent this, they connected with me, right? What do you do now? Okay, first email that you send them is key. So let's go to that. Initial email. Morning, Bob, Susan, whatever, thank you so much for connecting. Now I'm going to tell them just a little bit about me. After years in occupational health medicine and marketing in my hometown area of Chicago, and now with a custom programming software firm in Eastlake, Ohio, Mariner Tech Software Solution. We're a certified woman-owned company with over 20 years of experience working in healthcare, insurance, municipalities, and Veterans Administration, and countless manufacturers. If I or my firm can ever serve you with a project, an introduction, a connection for something personal, feel free to reach out. Again, thank you so much for connecting. Again, did I tell them we're the greatest things to sliced bread? Can I get an appointment with you? Any of that kind of stuff? No, right? But came across a pretty friendly guy. He's going to read this. He's going to go to my page. He's going to read what a great guy I am, right? Then he's going to read what a great company I am. He's going, glad I connected with this dude, right? So now what do? Connected. Here's what you do. Join these groups that he's in. Find articles that matter to him. Okay? This whole process is going to take you 8 business days. Okay? Now, if you want to sit and make 100 cold phone calls a day, knock yourself out, I'd rather go through this process with 8 days, working 150 people doing that, than sit there down the phone. Okay? So here's what you do. You send this email. Sometimes they respond to that, sometimes they don't. If they do, that person's interested in talking to you. You better start talking about setting up a meeting, right? If not, find an article, send 1, maybe 2, depending on how important that client is to you, right? Hey, I saw this article, thought it might be of interest to you, you know, I hope things are going well. That's it, again, it's not pitching. I'm not pitching who we are.
So you do that through message?
Again, I don't have their email address yet,
Right.
right? I haven't asked for it, right? I just do it all through LinkedIn. Now, here's what you're gonna have to do. You are gonna have to keep a separate piece of paper of the people that respond to you, okay? There are gonna be people you're gonna send these to, and they're just gonna connect with you, and they're never gonna respond to you, okay? But the people that do, you need to keep a record of them. Because those are the people we really want to start working with our next email, which is the key one, right? What's our objective in being on LinkedIn?
Yes, I do the seated.
Butt in the chair, right? All right, so does anybody know, has anybody heard of a very well-known sales author named Jeffrey Gidmer? Anybody else know that? Jeffrey's like the biggest schlub as I am, but he's one of the top salespeople. Well, maybe that's why I like him. He wrote a great book called The Sales Bible back about 2008, and a couple other great books. But what he also does, and I'll steer you towards him on Facebook, on YouTube, he posts some of the best 2-minute, 4-minute sales advice little videos you'll ever see in your life. And it's just common sense. Jeffrey Gitomer, Gitomer. One of the things that Jeffrey talks about is giving your client value before you ask for the business. Okay? Really key, really key thing in sales. Show them that you care about them, you give them value ahead of time. So now, in our process, what we've done is we've connected, told them who we are, we'd like to get to know you, we've sent him an article or 2, we've given him value in having a connection with us, right? Okay. Now is the time to go for button C. Good morning, Bob, Sarah, Jane, whatever. Recently we connected here on LinkedIn. At that time I gave you a brief description about myself, but I'd really like to learn more about you and see how I may serve you professionally, personally, or with a referral. I work with many directors and CIOs, and I know they have concerns of things like projects that never seem to get finished, how to get various software products to talk to each other, not getting the reporting or analytics that you need for your business. If you have any of these type of concerns or issues, maybe we should have a quick conversation to see if we can help you. I'd love an opportunity for a quick meeting or coffee to learn more about you and what your group is doing. Let me know if you'd be interested. Let's get it on the schedule and make it happen. Okay? Now, I'm asking them, can I put my butt in the chair across from you here? I'm giving them the value, and I'm not coming across, I just want to learn about what you guys are doing, right? Unassuming, it's not the big push. Now, out of those 150 big name people that I connected with in Christmas, how many of those people using this system do you think I have actually sat across from, either having coffee, on a teleconference, or in their office?
Over 100. Over 100.
25.
I'd say,
Sorry?
I'd say 30 out of 100.
As of today, 52. Okay? That's 52 people that I was picking up the phone and calling, sending emails that I would never gotten that opportunity with. Okay? Take it, tailor it to what you do, right? Tailor it to how you want to approach it. Use just the basic tenets that we talked about, and I promise you, you will, I can't tell you you're going to increase your sales because that's on your sales ability, that's on your product, and the timing with what it is, right? But I can get you, this will get you your butt in the chair across from their desk, right?
How much time do you spend after your initial site is set up in LinkedIn? That's going to be a good amount of time
Great
working
question,
on that.
super question. Let's go to my network, okay? And here we can either look at how many connections you got, but here you have a list of people, right? Okay, that's where you're, okay, who are these people in this My Connections? Does anybody know?
Related to people that you are already connected to.
They're connections of your connections, right? And the more you have, this is going to get different every single day, okay? Imagine how many people, when I got 4,200, I mean, I could go through this for days. What I do when I get in first thing in the morning is I go through and I spend 10 minutes sending connection requests from here.
Okay.
Then I go into my messages and I see who haven't I sent that follow-up email to. Again, I want to give it about 7-8 days, and I send it that recently reconnected email. Okay? That's the key. That's a key step in all of this. Okay? So then I spend the time sending, because that's, you know, all you're doing here is copying and pasting that email from one you already sent to somebody else, and you copy and you paste and you send to somebody else. So in a day, my time spent is maybe 25 minutes on LinkedIn. That's 25 much better minutes spent for me. Okay? I want to show you guys one last quick thing here. And this is like manna from heaven for me. This message came to me 2 days ago. Okay? Knowing I was coming here today. All right? So this guy here is somebody I really want to get to talk to. So if you can look at this, I sent the exact letters that I told you here, right? This is what he sent back. Jay, I got your you've got your LinkedIn process down. I'm in the groove of working with other professionals, keeping referral and business channels strong. So heck yeah, I want to meet with you. Let me know when your availability is next week. Can I get a stronger endorsement than that? I don't think so. And I'm meeting this guy on Friday. Okay.
So the Cranes article, I'm going through this and thinking about how you sent it. Cranes article, was that a connection request? Because in your next one, it's a connection request also.
I send that as a connection request to somebody that I see in Cranes.
Okay, but the connection request, the second one is if you didn't see them in Cranes and you just want to make it.
I found them in this search of my network. The other thing that we didn't really do an example of is searching, and you go in and you type in whatever it is that you're looking for. You, again, our prime person that we're targeting, you type that in, and always put in Cleveland or Northeast Ohio or those kinds of things. And it's going to come up, you probably all seen this, but let's say CIO Cleveland. All right, so now, here it is. Now, why are these people here? Because they're very active, right? Their profiles are all filled out, and they're very active. So they're likely the people that want to talk to me, right? My suggestion would be go back 10 pages on this. Your initial thing when you do this, do that search for whatever your key person is, go back 10 pages and send out those requests.
So if you sent an invite and they don't respond to you, do you follow up? Do you, what do you?
That's a great question. That's kind of a tricky little fun thing that I do. What we do is we go in here and we see, where was it? You can go in and manage. Here we go. So this tells me, go to the page with my network, right? You go to where it says manage all. It says sent. Now I can see everybody they sent them to that didn't accept it, right? So what I do is I go in and if it's a key person that I really want to connect with, I'll withdraw that request and I'll send it again. Right? But again, you know your business, you know who you're trying to target. Find those people and those people that didn't respond to you, withdraw it, send it again. Questions?
I have one. A year or so ago, I was contemplating paying for the boost to get to the next level of LinkedIn. Is that something that's still out there with Microsoft, and is it something that you've done, or do you advise when you should consider paying monthly
Great
to
question.
go to the next level?
Great question. When you do those searches that we just did, that CIO Cleveland search, you're going to run across people that they'll only connect with you if you are a paying customer. It says, no, I can't find one, of course. Where it says only email, send an email. Okay? You can't send a request to those people. Okay? But if there's somebody in that you really, really, really want to talk to, then it's worth spending $59 for that particular month, because you get 10 of those for $59. Is it worth it to you? Only you can decide it. For me, it never is, because there's 500 million other people I can talk to than spending $59 just trying to get a guy who is putting up barriers for me to talk to. Right? Common sense stuff, guys. Any other questions?
What about, you mentioned, I've kind of morphed into a completely different industry, so what I have in LinkedIn is really heavy on what I used to do. It's got a little bit of kind of now, but I don't want to start from zero. I don't know, what have you done in the past yourself?
The people you worked with before, is it possible that you could be working with them in what you do now?
Probably not.
How about their connections?
Well, it's a tough one for me because I always think everyone knows somebody, so I don't know.
So do you own your own business? Is that
I'm not working for myself right now. I'm working for a nonprofit agency, which makes it even worse.
Okay. So here's a couple options, real quick. You can just change your profile to whatever it is you're doing now. Make sure that whatever that is has their own page on LinkedIn and link back to it and refer to it, so that the people that you used to talk to know that you're there, and now you're doing all these things to bring in new people. Make sense?
But that would be my LinkedIn page with the new
Correct.
organization.
So you can have a personal page and a business page, correct?
Correct.
On LinkedIn.
And if you have a business that has a couple of different things that you do, there are many people that do have 2 or 3 different personal pages.